Hey everyone, I'll be covering all of the Nintendo Switch's games announced for the first week of September, so let's get started. The single-player first-person shooter featuring a fluid stun system, Severed Steel, offers destructible voxel environments, loads of bullet time, and a unique one-arm protagonist. Make full use of your trigger finger and steel-toe boots against a superstructure full of bad guys. Chain together wall runs, dives, flips, and slides to take every enemy down. Explore underwater and on land to hunt for supplies to craft the tools and weapons and even shelter that you'll need to stay alive. Stay sharp as hunger, thirst, and even exposure conspire against you as you brave against the treacherous elements and the dangerous creatures of the Pacific. Stranded Deep puts you smack dab in front of a terrifying set of encounters both above and below the water in the mysterious island that you're stranded in. Find unique places blooming with fantastic fauna and flora as you encounter and explore this beautiful world at your very own pace. Meet new characters and grow your community, and grow and create new worlds with the use of alchemy and build out the town of your dreams as the mysteries surrounding your existence and the universe itself collide upon you. After a long wait and some uncertainty, Crysis Trilogy Remastered is finally set to launch on October 15th on the Nintendo Switch. This all-in-one bundle features the remasters of the iconic single-player campaigns for Crysis, Crysis 2, and Crysis 3. It'll originally be launching digitally at first, but a physical set of copies are expected to drop in the subsequent months. Nostalgia Train is a mystical, melancholic first-person adventure walking simulator set in the Japanese countryside, where you solve not just the mystery of the missing people of Natsurugi, but also what's going on with yourself. After much deliberation and silence, Tandem, A Tale of Shadows is finally set to launch on October 14th. This puzzle platformer / action adventure game will be able to peel back the curtain shrouding 5 beautiful Victorian-inspired worlds. Players will alternate between Emma's top-down view and Fenton's horizontal side-scrolling view to progress and reach the end of each one of the levels. Make your own path in this island sandbox where you'll never know what will be around the very next corner. Get to know the froggy locals and help out whenever you can. Discover new items by fishing, farming, and concocting simple brews that will change how you traverse the island itself. Learn from the frogs and put your new skills to the test as the terrible storm ravages the surrounding areas and you must put a stop to it by any means necessary. The core gameplay in Big Brain Academy, Brain vs. Brain, consists of a number of different brain-teasing activities. They're made up of 5 different categories: identify, memorize, analyze, compute, and visualize. There's a wide set of assortment of fun activities that will challenge your brain in different ways when it launches on December 3rd. Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX released all the way in September of 2019, and Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX2 is its brand new sequel. This new game takes the original speed and stylish of the 2D action gameplay to a whole new level as Copen rips through enemies with his new break-shift form. This new destructive set of abilities make the high-speed action much more satisfying than ever before. Become lost in a myriad of crumbling brutal dreamscapes, where the concrete hive will become your home and you will become its master through agile, intuitive movement. Peripecia offers intense story, immersive gameplay, and tons of shootouts with a variety of enemies that aren't shy about pursuing you until your demise. In the distant future, ruthless factions have seized control of the world's major cities. The time has come to pick a side and take to the streets in an unpredictable journey of survival. Dominate the battle track by placing attacks and shatter your opponents. Chrono Faction features accessible rules that complement deep strategy and tons of customization. The world of Oaken is a mythical place existing in not an easily defined set of space and time. It is stretched among the branches of the Great Oak. Its inhabitants are spirits which listen to the same voice called the Oak Song. This roguelike offers hero-oriented campaign with deck managing 3D figures all set to a mystical world inhabited by spirits with Celtic and tribal vibes. Command legendary heroes and reshape the land fractured by broken oaths, reckless wars, and secret arcane powers. The technological and cultural achievements of a once great civilization now lie locked inside the ruins of ancient temples. Strategize through 28 chapters and develop your characters amongst 54 distinct classes for full flexibility in every way. The rich fled to Mars but ventured back to a desolate Earth for a round of golf. Each hole in this wasteland offers its very own little story and possible puzzles to sink in the perfect shot. Play through destroyed brutalist monuments, crumbling shopping malls and abandoned museums and even destroyed homes. You play as Seiji, a middle-aged yakuza recently released from prison, where all tropes are here but you can choose to not follow them in any way. Fading Afternoon will feature an open-world game in which players can choose their very own objectives. Fans can look forward to stylish combat system with guns, katanas, and much more. Many games like fishing will also be included. This is an action game with pixel art visuals of the 80s and 90s and an expressive sense of impact. It's not just nostalgic, it's also had plenty of rich screen effects that utilizes today's brand new technology. Grand Exile is a new kind of fighting action game with a nostalgic, yet somewhat new feel to it. This cyberpunk-themed platformer with a speedrunning twist, Aeon Drive, stars Jacqueline, a space ranger desperate to get to her home, armed with power swords and telegraphing daggers, featuring 2 separate gameplay modes. The story mode, which can be played solo or in local and online co-op with up to 4 players. Then the competitive PvP, which can also be played with up to 4 players in local and online settings. Explore a procedurally generated British landscape as you attempt to get home from a world where tweed-wearing robots yearn for your blood. With the advice of your faithful butler, you must employ stealth and survival tactics to escape this terrifying yet funny alternative dimension. Super Sami Roll is a colorful 3D platformer with rolling physics-based movement. The player controls Sami, a small lizard that wants to save his world from the evil of Albert VII. In order to do that, he will embark on a journey rolling through beautiful green fields, deserts dotted with pyramids, dangerous oozing volcanoes, freezing landscapes, and many more memorable places. Never Awake is a nightmarish twin-stick shooter with a unique world view and an original set of game rules. The girl fights against vegetables, dogs, school friends, and other things that she hates with a unique worldview perspective with its high-quality hand-drawn graphics and beautiful animations. Enjoy over 80 levels and dozens of bosses, each with their own unique set of mechanics. 300 years have passed since the dangerous autonomous robot weapon Asmophorus came to roam the surface, and most humans have been confined to the underground shelter facility in Shikaro. This 2D action game, where you use astral projections to explore, the main character Yokase uses her powers to slip through the walls, possess enemies, and explore the ruins when it launches later next year. Play as a giant monster and wreak havoc on humanity and this retro city smash 'em up, punching buildings, slapping helicopters, eating humans, kicking cars, and enjoy multiple ways to cause carnage. Satisfying arcade action and mindless destruction for up to 4 players can be found when Terror of Hemosaurus launches next year. Diluvian Winds is a 2D management adventure game seen from the side in semi-real time and context to the exile due to the rising waters. The players embody the Guardian, an individual who's refusing to leave the lighthouse, who's set to guard and witness this mass exodus. Valles receives a golem of his own from Locke and decides to join him on an adventure into the unknown where numerous bounties await. Thus begins the journey of the grid and all across several continents in Armed Emeth, Kenko's newest strategy RPG, which is now available on Switch. Piofiore Episodio 1926 is the full sequel to last year's Faded Memories, which finds Liliana immersed once again in the dangerous Mafia turf wars and intrigues that tear apart the city of Berlin. According to Axis Games, the game will be set to begin localization in the West for summer of next year. Dive into a world filled with sound. Let ethereal tunes carry you fluidly on your way through abstract landscapes. Learn to create and follow ephemeral paths of sound and light. Follow whimsical companions through a delicate world of changes in clear lines, swirls, and colors. Guide a caravan of adventurers through an ever-changing set of landscapes. Fight and survive in the face of acid rain, sandstorms, heat waves, and teams of hostile creatures while you rescue refugees, seek allies, and mutual aid to follow the blood path and loot everything on your way when Sandwalkers releases next year. Kamimori City is a community deep within the mountains that is known among the people for one very specific thing. The area is protected by a Tararigami. These are known for spreading misfortune, but Kamimori City is protected by just one. It just so happened that a lucky guy gets to fall in love with her, and the premise of this ecchi visual novel begins. Plunder Panic is a swashbuckling up to 12-player action arcade game where 2 rival crews battle for the supremacy of the high seas. Featuring both local and online play, work with your crew to plunder booty, defeat the enemy captains, and scuttle their ship in fast-paced action arcade gameplay with elements of platforming, combat, and strategic play. The action RPG, featuring a mix of retro-style graphics and fast-paced action, Crystal Story Dawn of Dusk, has you playing as Mina, a young adventurer living in Dawnside, who travels to the dark side to save her brother who has been kidnapped. After nearly a millennia, Termina is a great ancient evil that reawakens once again that stops your path completely. Slum Hack is an action-based puzzle game that's set in a post-apocalyptic world. Play as Nekuro, a young girl living in a poor city who will have to hack her way through the streets of Siberia to bring back the hope in bringing the peace to the people and her life itself. And that's what the game announcers will be covering this week. It doesn't surprise me in the least that all the fake insiders are now claiming that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct within the next few days. It seems like just about every 2 to 3 months we do the same dance over and over and people never learn. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!